So this is Raina Leon talking about Canticle of Idols and answering some questions about my first book. So this one, have you considered doing any songwriting or spoken word? So my mother, my whole life, has said that I should do some songwriting in particular. That it's my $1 million idea, that's how I'm going to make my money. And haven't really taken that one up at all. But in a way, maybe I have. In Negro Membon Daddy, which is one of the poems in my first book, there are few passages that are meant to be sung. So in the second section, there's one piece that is in Spanish, and this is how it goes. ¿Quién es el coqui que canta la noche de la salvación? So, who is a coqui? The coquito is a small frog that in Puerto Rico that sings in the night of salvation. And the second part in that poem that's meant to be sung is this. Negro bembón tiene la boca santa, negro bembón es el hombre mío, negro bembón. Cada canción que canta, negro bembón, me hace frío. So there are two passages within that poem that, yes, are meant to be sung. And this poem in particular is highly performative. So the first time that I actually ever performed this poem was in September 2003. I know only because I graduated from college in 2003. Don't calculate my age. And I went to Cave Canem right afterwards, which is a workshop for Black poets. And after that, I had met a number of folk who were living in New York. I happened to be moving to New York within 2 weeks or so after after being at Cave Canem to go for my master's program, my master's in the teaching of English at TC, a teacher's college. And so I moved there, and I was so busy with work and everything, with graduate studies, that it wasn't until about September when I finally made it to Bar 13 off of Union Square, and this was a poem that I read. And that's actually how I got connected with the Acentos Bronx Poetry Showcase, and was welcomed into that community and started featuring, and then eventually I founded the Acentos Review in 2008 as a part of that community. So this poem right here was meant to be performative, a spoken word piece, and from there it lent itself to work on the page as well, and then all these other opportunities. So I don't think I ever told that story, but yeah, that's the story of this poem and songwriting and spoken word. So on occasion I've performed in slams, always as an individual, won a few along the way, but that's never been my passion. And I think that my passion has been poetry, not so much the competition of poetry, definitely the performance of poetry. Now I love to perform my work, and much of my work is meant to be highly musical, to play off the musicality of words. And I think that in that way, my work bridges between what some might categorize. So if I were to say, am I a page or a stage poet, I would say that I'm both, because I want the work to sing in both spaces, right? So yeah, have I considered it? Yes. Am I doing things in both areas, songwriting or spoken word? I think so.